Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends. Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Game Sports Show. It is yours truly, David McKay, here live March the 15th, Thursday, Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, where you are among friends. And as always, it's a lively atmosphere here at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. I'm going to introduce the panel just a little bit, just going to get through the introduction portion here. Speak on behalf of Boston Pizza here. We're here for their after 9 p.m. daily specials. Here you got the $9 schooners, the mostly Canadian Coors Light. You got the $4 bar rails, and you got the half price off appetizers, which is always a great price here at Boston Pizza, and always where you are among friends, and you get to enjoy some great food and cold beverages as well. And also, I'd like to thank our additional sponsors here on the Game Sports Show as well. Before we get underway with tonight's show, we obviously got Boston Pizza, one of the homes to the Game Sports Show, Sports Center Bar and Grill in Sault Ste. Marie, which is another home to the Game Sports Show here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. There's Discover the Canvas, North Shore Sports and Auto, The Salon, The Superior Pro Shop, and now, newly, charitable organizations, Northern Critters in Need, and officially Big Brother, Big Sister are on board of part of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, onto the Game Sports Show in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and on to Michigan side. Another home to the Game Sports Show on Mondays, The Wicked Sister, and also an additional sponsor in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, Pingator Cleaners. And, well, here for the Game Sports Show, we had a show last night at Sports Center Bar and Grill. I'm going to go to where you can hear previous shows, current shows, and where you can follow the Game Sports Show. That is on thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Again, that's thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Very simple. Download the free app on your smartphone or your mobile phone, and you simply put in your email and you just hit follow. Very easy. Or you can access the Podbean page through my Facebook page on the upload of the show, and you just simply hit follow on that regard. Very simple to do, very easy, and very user-friendly for you in terms of being the listeners to be sure you're caught up for the Sioux's only regional, national, and local sports show. You can also follow on the YouTube page. Scott Nason's YouTube page, and soon to be the Game Sports Show YouTube page. We'll update you when that occurs, where you can follow and listen to shows as well. And you can also go to www.thegamesportshow.com. Everything is uploaded there. The only thing that's still under construction is the pictures. And speaking of those pictures, we have our model pictures here at Boston Pizza, St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th, where myself and the crew, the entire Game Sports Show crew, is going to be on hand here at Boston Pizza, looking all dolled up, taking those professional pictures. It's definitely going to be a fun time. If you want to come on out and take a picture with us, you can do that as well, because there's not going to be a better sight than seeing Justin Heichel or Dane Hancho dressed up, because you never really see that. Little jab to my boys to my left over here. And let me introduce what the panel is going to be here tonight. Without further ado, to my right is Brad Cochamilio, one of, still fresh to the staff of the Game Sports Show. Brad, how are you?
Doing well. I guess I'm the rookie, so does that mean I have to pack the bus?
You either smell.
I
To my right left, as always, Dane Hancho. Dane, looking spiffy today night, though, buddy. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks. Brad, it's all right. You'll be on the payroll in a couple more shows.
Justin Heichel to my left, straight. I like saying that funny, too. I like giving you directional, showing my geography skills. You don't like that, though.
Your geography skills are garbage. Last week you were trying north-south, and it was east-west.
I've been doing it for like a month now.
The fact that you make it to work some days is breathtaking.
Some days I don't know how I get to work. I shouldn't say that. But I'm going to bring back Justin and Dane just momentarily. You got some more promotions we're going to shoot at you, and also a bit more updates and the agenda. And then Brad's going to come discuss the NOJHL update before we take our first break. And St. Patrick's Day, as I mentioned, being right around the corner, 2 days away. March the 17th, Saturday. And here at Boston Pizza, starting at 8 p.m., Sheldon Jaskalainen, which is the only fiddle player in town, is going to be live here at Boston Pizza. Fantastic. I saw a little preview show via Instagram videos and Snapchat, and with Aaron sending me some information, this guy is absolutely amazing. So Sheldon Jaskalainen, the only fiddle player in Sault Ste. Marie, making you feel like you're really at home in Ireland. And there's going to be green beer, the drink features that go on daily here at Boston Pizza from 9 p.m. Those $9 schooners, those $4 bar rails, and the half price off appetizers are still going to be on hand. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and obviously it's St. Patrick's Day. What better excuse than to drink beer? I don't know what else to tell you. Drink those Molson products. I know what I'm going to be doing on that Saturday. Drinking a lot of green beer. I can tell you that right now for sure. And also additional promotions. Merchandise in the Game Sports Show is going to be launched at the end of the month. And that's going to be on special thanks to Dustin Grondin, one of the analysts on the show, and to Molson Canada for getting us in line with the merchandise. The merchandise is going to feature our new sponsors, Northern Critters in Need, and also Big Brother, Big Sister, with the proceeds of the shirt going towards the cost, and also these two charities, and also going towards our new soundboard system featuring our Game Sports Show and Boston Pizza as well. The shirts are approximately going to go for about $25, and it's going to be, like I said, going towards charities, and everything starts for a good cause, and you get to wear some mad swag. Our logo is going to be released at that time, and perhaps our new catchphrase, which is going to be discussed off air as I'm getting my eye roll to my left straight. Justin Heichel over here, going back to my geography skills. And for tonight here on the show, though, without further ado, we're going to jump into the agenda of the show. Tonight's agenda, we're going to be discussing, well, obviously this has been the introductory portion of all the promotions going where you want to hear where all the great stuff is happening in Sault Ste. Marie and obviously here at Boston Pizza. But we're going to be discussing the Soo Greyhounds playoff update. We're going to be discussing the NOJHL. And with coming up after the first break here, Colin Miller, Las Vegas Golden Knights defenseman, 37 points, power play specialist, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario native, former Soo Greyhound, is coming on by the Game Sports Show for his second appearance of the Game Sports Show, and that'll be right after the upcoming break. So once again, Colin Miller, followed by Soo Greyhound's playoff update and an NHL update. And this introduction portion, we're going to be talking the NOJHL as well, as the NOJHL playoffs is basically in full swing in terms of the entry-level rounds, I like to call it. And I'm going to let Brad Kochemiller spearhead that. And then before we jump into what the future games are going to look like potentially, I got to say out loud that last night's show, at Sports Center Bar and Grill, you can listen to that on the Podbean page. And next Monday, we are going to be back live at the Wicked Sisters, Scott Nason. Myself, I might be absent from that show. Sorry to tell you that, listeners. As much as you love hearing my voice on that air, on live on 95.1. The agenda of the show, I'm going to remind you, it's Mondays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Wicked Sisters, 6 to 7 live, 7 to 8 pre-recorded, with Wednesdays being at Sports Center Bar and Grill on the famous 75-cent Wing Night at 9 p.m. Then every Thursday here at Boston Pizza at 9 p.m. for part of their daily specials. And we'll be back to the original agenda starting on Monday, March the 19th, this upcoming Monday. A lot of news there, eh, Brad?
Yeah, I'll give you credit. You know how to fill some air.
I do. I've never had a problem when it came to talking. I remember when I was 16, getting told that I talk too much. Actually, I got told that when I was a child. But then on radio, there's never dead air.
Well, and
You're the same way, though.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, if people think you talk a lot, they probably haven't met me. Because if anyone talks as much or more than you, it's probably this guy right here.
Or the guy to my left, too. This guy to my left, Dane, does not shut up either.
Chatty McChatterson over there? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Absolutely. And he's louder than I am.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's debatable.
Brad, we'll jump into the NOJHL update before we take our break. I know there's not too much to really discuss here. In terms of, well, there's news, obviously, but, in terms of the Thunderbirds being underway, that's more this weekend, correct? The Eagles being also this upcoming weekend, more of the players get involved. You saw Blind River play, LA Lake play, Timmins, Hearst. I'm going to give you kind of the front run of this right now to give the listeners a little NOJHL update going into this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we're through one round, so to speak. The league's got kind of a different setup where the 4th and 5th seed in each division actually make the playoffs, but they play a best-of-3 series, and the winner of that series plays the top seed in each division. So, for example, the Blind River Beavers sweep Elliott Lake in round 1, which means they get to play right side in round 2. Pretty tough scenario for winning a first-round playoff series, but so I mean it's a little different in that setup, but it gives pretty much 5 of the 6 teams in each division a chance to get in. Now this week we're getting right into full swing. Thunderbirds Eagles, that's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, they pretty much, They played 10 times this year. I think they split all 10 games down the middle. So, that series starts up Saturday night here at the John Rhodes. And I'm sure both buildings, whether it's the Rhodes where the Eagles fans travel well, they always get a lot of fans coming over here. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Thunderbird fans that are going to go over to the Puller next week when that series shifts over there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That series is going to be a real battle, and whoever comes out of that, they're going to have a tough time in round 2. I'm thinking Rayside's going to get through Blind River, but whoever comes out of that Thunderbirds Eagles series is probably going to be pretty banged up for the next round.
Absolutely. You know what? And Blind River's a team that made the finals last year.
Yeah.
So Rayside shouldn't underestimate Blind River.
100%.
And I know our hearts lie in Blind River. I know we got a soft spot, especially myself, with Blind River. So definitely pulling for them against Rayside. I don't think that Blind River's a true number 4 seed team. I feel like if they played in the other division in the east side, they would be a top 2 potentially.
For sure. Yeah, and that's a team that you got to give Kyle Brick and that whole crew there a lot of credit. This is a team that just a few years ago, pretty much went through a winless season.
Yeah. 51-1.
Yeah, and their only point that year was an overtime loss against the Thunderbirds, I believe, or a tie against the Thunderbirds. So, that was a tough go. But this is a team that's really made some strides, and it's really, like you said, they're coming off a finals appearance last year, and the development there has been really good over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. You know what? The Thunderbirds Eagles, though, the border rivalry, Polish Stadium, the roads. God, this series is going to be absolutely amazing. And you know what? I could tell you, the Thunderbirds are in for it tough, and the Eagles are in for it tough. These teams, I mean respect to the Eagles and Thunderbirds, but they're equal in talent. I'm thinking this series goes the distance. And Jim Cappy at the helm of the Eagles, he knows what he's doing behind the benches. There's somebody being familiar with myself for over 5 years. Tell you, the guy, as much as we like to chirp each other, Jimmy and myself, the guy knows exactly what he's talking about. And with the Thunderbirds, they've always been a prominent organization. They've been able to recruit players and be successful. And, I feel that having the Thunderbirds, they are a very fast team, but so are the Eagles. They're a lot alike. There are a lot of likes, and I think when it comes to playing at the roads, though, I feel that advantages the Thunderbirds a little bit more, not because of being home ice, just because of the way they play the game, but the Polar, it advantages the Eagles. Exactly, and the Thunderbirds having home ice to start the series is probably an advantage for the two Thunderbirds, but you know what, Jim? Having the coach be able to put the players out at the right time, probably get his matchups out there. He is a very matchup guy. He won't admit it, but he is a matchup guy, especially who has plans before the game. And I definitely see Cappy following this matchup routine against the Thunderbirds to shut down some big names in the T-Birds.
Yeah, that's out of the 4 second-round series in the NOJHL, that's going to be the best out of the 4 of them without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's fewer guys that are going to prepare as well as Jim Cappy does. I always get a laugh. I bug Jim all the time that I still remember when he was coaching in Blind River. They were playing the Thunderbirds, get blown out, and I love telling this story because it's like Jim gets a kick out of it. Where I go down the hall, down to the dressing room. Jim goes into the room. He sees me. He knows I'm there waiting for comment. So he comes out after he's addressed the players. And he's already in mid-sentence. Like, he's already answering a question. And bear in mind, I haven't even spoken to him yet, and he's already answering a question for me. So I'm scrambling to get my recorder out, and he went for about probably close to 2 solid minutes. He's just going, and he's throwing everything out. And then he looked at me, he's like, anything else? Like, no, you pretty much answered every question I had, and might have been the easiest post-game interview I ever had. But, again, got a lot of respect for Jim and what he does, and there's going to be, that Eagles team is going to be really prepared for this series with the Thunderbirds.
See, a little secret, I know I could definitely talk like the guy, so I'll never tell you, but I can just imagine him walking around that locker room like, his eyes roll and he just goes off. And he's scrambling to get, that's hilarious. Jim, definitely though, kudos, the Eagles, Thunderbirds, definitely games that yourself, the listeners, want to get out to watch at the John Rhodes. The first game is this
The first game is Saturday night. Yeah, so they're Saturday night and Monday night at the Rhodes, and then shift to Wednesday, Friday across the river at the venerable Polar Stadium.
Those polar beers and those polar burgers, my Atlanta, and those polar referees. Yeah, I went there. So, Brad, that when we come back here next week, we're going to have 4 games essentially under the belt. There won't be a sweep in that series, and nor do I think there'll be a sweep in the Beavers Rays side series.
No,
that series is probably going to distance as well. These are going to be the 2 most exciting series in the playoffs. Powassan on the other side is probably the team that's going to come out, and they're playing Timmins. I feel like that's going to be a series that Powassan's got to dominate and will dominate. Cochrane probably would be the team that might give Powassan a little bit of a push, it seems, but Powassan looks like the favorite coming out of the East. saying just easily the western side is so deep, all over the place, and that's so exciting because they're all Algoma region teams with Blind River and obviously Thunderbirds and obviously the Eagles being an Upper Peninsula Michigan team, but I still consider them Algoma region. Sorry, America, that's Nigeria. But and also Sudbury being close to Sydney as well. Travel costs lower, fans can travel. It can definitely be an exciting first round.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you're probably looking at 3 series out of the 4 that are going to be really good. The only one that might not be that close is going to be that Powassan Timmins series. But I mean, overall, that's going to be you're probably going to see 3 solid series in this round, and it's perfect for the league. You get a little parity and a little bit of excitement, and people are going to be looking forward to going deeper into the playoffs.
You know what? Sometimes having that easy first round is not a good thing. I can tell you, there's a team, the 2010 Thunderbirds, having that first round against Manitoulin with the Eagles. Playing Sudbury, I believe, in that first round with Jake Patterson at the helm, and the Eagles came in and beat the Thunderbirds that year. Don't ask how I know that. I can tell you right now, with that, sometimes having that first series like that, where it's a series that and Timmins is not Manitoulin, so I'm not saying that by any means, but I'm saying that when you have a series where you're expected to win it, if they end up having an easier series than they would have against other teams, sometimes it's not good.
Yeah.
When you play, you want to have the tougher road to get there. And it's always good. Yes, you get banged up, but the Thunderbirds and Eagles are going to be banged up, but maybe that's a good thing, or it could be a bad thing, for sure. It's definitely going to be exciting going into the rest of the NLJHL playoffs. It'll be exciting to talk about as we get past with the weeks. Brad, we're gonna take a quick break, sip on these Molson products, get some za here at Boston Pizza, maybe some food, maybe some steak bites. I don't know, thinking of a few things, kind of adventurous, kind of hungry. And then when we're going to take our first break. When we come back, Colin Miller, Las Vegas School of the Nice Defenseman, is going to be stopping on by. And then afterwards, after that break, bringing you back in along with Dane and Justin. And we're going to have our trivia question right then and there, and then the Sioux Greyhounds playoff update. So you don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages from our very faithful, loyal, and awesome sponsors. The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends. The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsoo.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, as always, David McKeag. Later on in the show, as I mentioned, I'm going to be bringing in Dane Hantro, Justin Heichel, and Brad Cochimilio. Brad Cochimilio, who I was hoping was going to be part of the interview that I'm about to do. However, Brad is kind of occupied at the current moment, so you get to hear my voice, and I'm sure Colin Miller does not mind just hearing my voice. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in Colin Miller. Colin, how you doing, buddy?
Good to hear from you. Hanging out here in Vegas, but it's been good so far.
Absolutely. And before we jump into everything with this season, I know we previously had you on the Game Sports Show, which you can listen to it previously in the summer, and it was right after the expansion draft, and when you and I had the discussion, Vegas was for real a team that everyone had either high hopes about or doubts about and whatnot. And when you got drafted, I know you were really excited, and pretty fair to say that this year, with Las Vegas being in their current position that they are in, being first on top of the division, you have 45, 20, and 5 record, the most wins by an expansion team, in the history of the National Hockey League. It's pretty fair to say that everything is going really well in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's been obviously a year that I don't think a lot of people expect, coming off how, expansion teams kind of have that aura about them and stuff like that. But I think it's been fun. I think, early on in the year we were just kind of getting to know what the team would be like and the dynamic and stuff like that. But I think now we've, finally kind of found our confidence about us, and we're hitting our stride here. So 12 more games before the playoffs will start, and it's looking good.
Absolutely. You know what? And the playoffs are just right around the corner, which is amazing how time is flying by. And yourself, speaking of flying in the air and doing fantastic, 9 goals, 28 assists, 37 points so far this year. Even some 43 penalty minutes, Millsy. I like a little bit throwing up the rough stuff a little bit. But definitely a year that, it's a career high in each of the areas. You have most of the year, full season was in 2015, 2016. We played 42 games with Boston, but basically fair to say your first full season was last season in Boston. So in your second full season in the National Hockey League, it seems that everything for yourself is going well, and it seems that you've earned the opportunity to play in a lot of specialty teams. You've had a very good team chemistry throughout your entire locker room. Everything everything seems to be going well, especially for yourself. What can you comment on based on how your performance has been extremely well this year?
There, opportunity is a big thing in the league, and I think I was fortunate, to get picked up by Vegas. I don't think, a lot of guys get this much opportunity early on in their career unless if, they're a high draft pick or whatever it may be and stuff like that. So I think the opportunity has been great this year, and, kind of tried to do my best to take advantage of it. But I think our coaches have done a good job, of kind of keeping it pretty even with guys. I think everybody's had a pretty fair shake here, and as players, that's all you can really ask for. Absolutely.
And even up front with Jonathan Marchessault, who's having obviously a great year, somebody who was told coming into the league was too small, being 5'9", 174. Then you have James Neal, who his experience speaks for himself as well, 6'2", 221. Then you got guys, other people in the locker room they recently just acquired, Tomas Tatar from the Red Wings, Ryan Reeves from the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think that was a great move by your organization with Las Vegas. But I think the one name that's really sticking out is definitely William Karlsson. He's had a tremendous impact on the squad this year up front, and obviously your goaltending at the beginning of the year, you used all your goaltenders, it seemed, in the entire organization with Legacy, with Subban, obviously with Fleury, and then you had Donsk in there. You had a lot of a little carousel going in because due to injuries, it seems like everyone's coming together. But the person that I really want to stick out with yourself, obviously, is William Karlsson, who's had a tremendous season for the team, and I'm sure his input is pretty valuable to your team's successes as well.
There's a lot of guys, that are having career highs this year, and he's obviously the guy that's, right at the forefront for us. He's a huge part of our team. He's been able to stay healthy, which is a big thing too. You want to go through the season and kind of have that consistency of playing games and get comfortable and stuff like that. But no, there's not really much I think bad you can say about him. He's so solid. Defensively, offensively, power play, stuff like that. There's really not a bad time to put him on the ice, and I think that line is just started to click with Riley Smith and Jonathan Marchessault. So they really, kind of found their chemistry earlier on, and it's gone from there. So He's a huge part of our team, and we're going to need him to be great here down the stretch.
Absolutely, and you know what? There's someone who's actually getting a lot of recognition on the Canadian side, which I know you being in Vegas and traveling around, you might not maybe follow his social media. You may see some things, but Gerard Gallant, your coach, obviously, who has had got a chance after previously coaching in Florida prior, and now this year coaching the first place team in the Pacific Division. Obviously, how has he been as an influence to the roster and to yourself?
Well, he's been great. I mean, another guy. I think I don't think he had quite as much to prove as the rest of us. I mean, he's got a great resume going for him. But I mean, I think he came off that Florida job. I mean, it was a little, a bit of a head scratcher for talking to some of the guys who've been in Florida why he got fired and stuff like that. But what happens? It's a business, and I think he's done a great job with all our players this year. It's really noticeable for me, and I think some of the other guys. Kind of the confidence that they try to instill in us every day. And it's more just about going out there and playing. It's not so much about the X's and O's. And I think when guys have that, they're able to play their game and not be so worried about being in the right place all the time, but just working hard and kind of contributing to the team.
Absolutely. And speaking of the team last night, I'm sure it's something that you don't want to dive into too much. Playing Las Vegas yourself, playing the New Jersey Devils, losing an 8-3 game on home ice. After checking out the highlights, it was certainly a game that seemed like you guys weren't, it's just a game that you had off. Is a game I'd like to say you weren't yourselves out there. It's a game that you obviously have to put behind you going forward into tomorrow's night's game against Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to be 2 games, you're always going to feel your best. And I think that happened last night. It's a grind this time of the year, with coming, we just had that 5-game road trip on the road and then coming back, it's not always the easiest to rebound and get right back at it. But I mean, I think there was positives to take from last night, of course. I mean, there's always tough parts of the year, but we've done a good job, kind of if we have a bad period or a bad game or stuff like that, coming back and responding. So we'll have to be good here against Minnesota tomorrow night. Be sure to get a good start in that and go from there.
Absolutely. And you guys have 12 games left on the season, and it's the type of it's down to the year where it's a long season, obviously, playing 82 games. And obviously from perspective, from being in the media side or fan side, it's understood that the game, it's grueling on the body. It's, you got to keep yourself in shape. You have to keep yourself rested and keep yourself healthy. Now these final 12 games are not only just big for you guys to keep on moving forward and get into keep in the right direction and ensuring that you guys clinch the Pacific Division, but there's going to be teams that you're playing against obviously as well, like the Minnesota Wild, who aren't for sure into a playoff spot, or there's teams like Los Angeles, there's teams like Anaheim, teams like Calgary, teams like that are going to be playing extremely hard and are in the playoff already mindset. Now, what is the importance and what can you guys do as a team and for yourself to maintain that health and maintain the consistency that you guys had down in this deep of a run, and also keep your minds in it that, the season's almost done. Essentially, it's basically, you don't like to say this, but the playoffs is obviously going to be a SEMA for sure in Las Vegas this year, but how do you keep your mindset going forward these final 12 games?
Well, I think it's just mentally, like you said. I think it's kind of ramping up and getting yourself prepared for the playoffs and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a different mindset, I think, going in and playing some teams. You can kind of, not to say they're checked out, but they're in a different situation. They're either looking for, if they're not in the playoff spot, they're kind of looking forward to next year and trying to prove whatever they can to their staff and stuff like that, or where they'll fit in on that team next year. So it's different. I think now our team is, we're starting to realize that. I think at the beginning of the year we were surprising some teams, with coming out and stuff like that, and they didn't really know what to expect playing us. And now I think teams are, they're ready for us. So we just have to match that intensity and just make sure that we're ready to go and not taking any nights off.
Absolutely. And you know what, in Las Vegas, like I said on the top when we started here, Las Vegas fever has caught on. And I know there's a lot of handles of Las Vegas flu. I know Marc-Andre Fleury had jokes like that when they come play you guys, the T-Mobile Arena, a lot of success. on home ice. Obviously, not including last night. We're gonna just include that game from last night, but its team has caught on to the National Hockey League, and it's obviously great to see how Vegas has caught on and how well you guys have done in general. And speak of it in terms of a Las Vegas perspective, how the talk is around the city of Las Vegas and how the fan base is, and feeling that atmosphere in the T-Mobile Arena. It must be surreal how successful this team has been so quickly into its NHL career, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, even right from the get-go, I think they did a great job, kind of showing off the team and getting the team involved. And I mean, obviously with the terrible things that happened in Vegas early on in the year, I think they, not to say that we're something that the town can look to, but it's kind of something to rally around. I think hopefully people have that pride in the team that they're kind of getting behind us and stuff like that. And I think we kind of got immersed in the town pretty quickly. I think a lot of people kind of envision the Strip and stuff like that when they come to Vegas, but there's a lot more. I mean, we live out in Summerlin. It's about 25 minutes outside of the Strip, and I mean it's a beautiful community. I mean, there's lots to do and lots of stuff to see, beyond the Strip. So, and there's lots of people, So I think the locals that are here, and then obviously the visiting people coming into town have a lot of fun with the games on the Strip there too. But I think the local people, like you said, are embracing it, and it's funny. I mean, it seems like everywhere you go here now, you see a shirt or a hat or whatever it may be. So it's great.
Absolutely. You know what? And the expansion in the NHL is something that's going to seem like it's going to continue, when it almost seems like a certainty that Seattle's going to be getting a franchise by 2020, 2021. And obviously a big influence on that is seeing the success that yourself with Las Vegas Golden Knights have had, being first place and, having extreme fan base already caught on so quickly. And I think that was important for the NHL and for Las Vegas is, obviously with coming into this year, we've already discussed this right off the top, was, the expectations were on the fence. I didn't know if it was going to be if a playoff bound team or if it was going to be a team that was just going to start off slow like teams like Nashville, Columbus, and Minnesota did in their expansion times. But now having this year of success in this first year is definitely made the NHL convinced to go to other locations as well. And obviously a big part of that is Las Vegas' success, obviously, this year, you must say.
Yeah, I think that the new team in Seattle, I think obviously they caught on a little quicker, and then the hype maybe geared there a little quicker because of the success that we're having here and stuff like that. But I mean, it's there's a lot of pieces, that go together to make a team successful, and it starts with the management and who you draft and stuff like that. So I think George did a great job, obviously, with picking guys and guys that maybe weren't getting as much opportunity in a different area, and we're ready for the opportunity. So no, it's exciting to see, and I'm sure, like you said, that other team's right around the corner of being in the league.
Absolutely. And a couple things more, Millsy, before that I let you go. As I know you're quite the busy man, and we appreciate you taking the time. I want to bring up two little things that are kind of outside of playing and kind of a little prediction fun thing from my end. We've had numerous predictions on the sports show about in different times of the year after the deadline, prior to the All-Star break, about what team the power rankings are. And Las Vegas has been in the top 5 of our power rankings and throughout the entire National Hockey League for basically the entire season now. But, my dream scenario, and I'm sure you're going to get a laugh at this, and friend of the show, which means no offense to him, obviously being Paul Maurice, who was somebody on the show a couple weeks ago, but a dream Stanley Cup matchup. I don't like to get too ahead of ourselves. Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Miller, how awesome would that be able to see? Get Las Vegas in there. I'd be torn, obviously, who to really cheer for. I think that'd be one of the most exciting, Stanley Cup matchup potential places. I know that people don't really count Toronto in on the Eastern Conference, but it seems like you guys have a very, very, very strong chance of getting there, and that must create a little bit of excitement for yourself to be on a team that's a contender this quick.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is exciting. I mean, obviously where we are right now in the standings, but it's a different game, right? When you get to playoffs and you kind of separate the men from the boys and that type of thing. So we don't have a ton of playoff experience per se on our team, but I think a lot of guys have played in big games over their careers and stuff like that. So for us, we got to focus on clinching playoffs. And then, our first round matchup right now looks, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we still have to clinch, but it could be Dallas, could be Calgary, could be Anaheim, could be one of the California teams. So it's really up in the air, and every one of those teams, has a lot of that playoff experience, and it has those teams that are good, great in playoffs. So we'll see. It's a long journey, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Last thing too, I know it's one step at a time, obviously, for the playoffs, obviously. So whatever kind of it comes down to, just take it day by day. So those are very good points as well. And speaking of an organization that you were a part of, I'm not sure how much you have followed. I'm sure you being in touch with everybody in Sault Ste. Marie and have watched. I would be ashamed if I didn't bring up the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, a team that you've played for 3 years, from 2010 until the end of 2013. A team that you've played well over 6 playoff games for. I apologize, but you played 3 seasons there. Have you followed the Greyhounds this year at all and looked into their success that they've had this year? And if you had, how excited are you on behalf of the Sioux Greyhounds for the city of Sault Ste. Marie?
Yeah, it's great to see. Obviously such a hockey town there in the Sioux. I haven't followed it too closely, but my parents are always giving me the updates and stuff like that on the Hounds, and I think a lot of people in the Sioux there are as well. So, we'll see. All the pieces are in place. It's exciting. We got a coach here that was head coach last year in the OHL, and I was bending his ear a little bit when I realized how good the Hounds were doing, and he kind of said it. He said that they have the team and they have all the pieces, so it's exciting. Hopefully they can stay hot here and have a long run. It'd be great for the Sioux.
Absolutely, and most importantly, I hope the Las Vegas Golden Knights continue this season. A team that is obviously talented, so I'm not surprised and very happy to see how you guys are doing well, especially yourself, Colin, having a very successful season. I'm going to let you go. I know I've occupied a good amount of your time, and we definitely appreciate you taking the time to come on by the Game Sports Show and also be a part of the Boston Pizza edition of the Game Sports Show. And hopefully we get you on throughout possibly a deep playoff run, not possibly a deep playoff run, but for sure a deep playoff run. And also when you come back home in the summer, I'd like to get some little live interviews with you on the show as well. Definitely get you back on the show as soon as we can.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, sir.
No problem, Colin. We're going to be right back here after you hear from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here at Boston Pizza. The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
Thank you for tuning in to the Game Sports Show, broadcasting Thursday nights from Boston Pizza in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and online at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Now, if you want to hear more of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national talk show involving the world of sports, I encourage you to visit our website, thegamesportshow.com. There you can hear a couple other broadcasts of the Game Sports Show. Monday nights, we do the game from the Wicked Sister on Ashman Street in downtown Sioux, Michigan, 6 to 7 o'clock on the radio. WUPN, Eagle 95.1 locally, or online at radioeaglesioux.com. Now, the full 2-hour show can be heard on the podcast page of the game at thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel. Just look for Scott Nason in that one, as yours truly, along with Dave McKeag and our weekly contributors, Butch Davis from the Telegram News and Butch on Sports, along with EJ Russell on the Team Wireless Hot Seat. We focus on local, regional, and national sports, including high school basketball and hockey, junior hockey, Laker athletics, and the Detroit sports scene. And Mr. Electric Avenue Dave McKeag also broadcasts a show on Wednesday night from Sports Center Bar and Grill in Sioux, Ontario, along with his regular contributors Jamie Antonello, Justin Heichel, and Dane Hantro. Show. They focus on football with their In the Pocket segment, talking about the NFL along with basketball and the NBA, and other sports including tennis, golf, soccer, and the WWE. Once again, you can hear all 3 versions of the game at our website, thegamesportshow.com, or our podcast page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Just look for the Scott Nason channel. And thank you for listening, and keep it locked here to The Game for all your local, regional, and national sports talk that you just can't get enough of.
Get wicked at the Wicked Sister. You'll find the best tasting food for the whole family. Start off with some appetizers like the crab dip, served with warm naan bread strips and soft pretzel bites, or their antibiotic and hormone-free boneless chicken wings with 5 choices of sauces. Entrees include the barbecue pulled pork sandwich, the #1 selling drunken cow burger, or Philly cheesesteaks, and they're on special all day Thursdays. The Wicked Sister also offers a gluten-free menu and catering. Bring the whole family. The Wicked Sister, downtown Ashman Street, open 7 days a week.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McKeag. And wow, what a great interview from Colin Miller. As always, I want to give a special thanks to Colin Miller for stopping on by to the Game Sports Show as his second appearance on the Game Sports Show. Colin Miller having such a fantastic season this year with Las Vegas. Las Vegas in general having an amazing season. Definitely a season no one predicted. And I remember having my bet on 365 ready to click saying I want to put $100 on Vegas making the playoffs. Why the heck didn't I do that?
I don't know.
I would have had at least 6 months rent paid in my new apartment. What do you think, Heiko?
Had the head coach in your garage telling you what it was all about. You didn't do it.
No, we had our fantasy draft. That was one of the funnest times we've had in my garage. Dane, I don't know if you saw that show. We did a fantasy draft, and we were right on a lot of them. Just going to say, Gerard Gallant over here to my left straight. The directional thing is still a thing here tonight. Dane, Las Vegas, Colin Miller. As we say in Italian, say bene.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
Means good.
Good. Okay, I figured it'd be something along those lines. But yeah, very surprising. Happy to see them do good. Clinched the title, division title that I thought the Oilers might be having this year, but things happen, and
they had a tough loss against New Jersey last night, though, 8-3, and they have a couple former Oilers on that New Jersey team. I don't know if you heard.
Seems like Vegas, when they lose bad. Unfortunately, I've seen them have some really big blowout losses when they do lose, but the good thing for Vegas is they don't lose that much, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they do in the playoffs.
No, for sure. And excited to get Colin Miller on as the playoffs kind of go on, and I said for a deep playoff run. Then obviously in the summer, where we hope to have we have some exciting plans in the summer that we're hopefully going to get some live action on TV. Little spoiler, and also on live air, so it'd be good to see Colin in that perspective as well. But we're going to get to the NHL scene after our next break. We're going to talk right now about the trivia question that I'm going to bring in. Then I'm going to bring Brad, and obviously Dane and Justin are already being brought in here. Bring Brad back, and we're going to discuss the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds with getting Game 1 victory underneath their belt against Windsor last night. A convincing, yet, should I say, easy win against Windsor, it seemed like last night. But before we get to that, the trivia question. Last week's trivia question, Boston Pizza has 8 beers on tap. What were they? Had some answers. All of them wrong. I'm going to give everyone a hint. They don't have Bud Light. I'm here on the show promoting Molson being a part of the Game Sports Show. I think that might give a lot away right there. And you know what? I'm not going to give you the answers this week. I'm going to give everybody a chance. It's not going to be the official trivia question this week, but if you can answer last week's trivia question, what are the 8 beers that are on tap, you're going to get a bonus prize from Boston Pizza. It won't be the full prize, but you're going to get a bonus prize courtesy of Boston Pizza if you want to send that answer in as well. And if you're the individual who submits the answer this week, along with last week's, you're going to get the main prize plus the bonus prize. So make sure you're the first to submit either or answer to get a prize courtesy of Boston Pizza. And with this week's question, it's going to have to make you dig into the archives. The Game Sports Show has been around for 4 years. And we've had a variety of websites that we've been a part of. We've been on Podomatic, now being on Podbean and YouTube, being on Eagle 95.1 streams, being on Dave McKeag's Facebook page, being Dave McKeag and Scott Nason's Twitter page. You're going to have to look into the archives here to see which individual, between the 3 individuals I give you, were the first to be on the Game Sports Show. So the question is, which of these 3 individuals that I'm going to name were first to be on the show between the 3 of them? Number 1, Paul Maurice. Number 2, Joe Bowen. Number 3, Colin Miller. Which one of the 3 were on the Game Sports Show first? You send in that answer. You can send it to the Game Sports Show ssm@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Facebook, send me a text, or you can comment on the Podbean page or the YouTube page. And you can also get a chance to win when submitting those answers on one of those pages. You get a chance to win a prize courtesy of Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. Once again, the trivia question this week. Which one of the 3 individuals between Paul Maurice, Joe Bowen, and Colin Miller were on the Game Sports Show first? And also, for last week's trivia, out of the 8 beers on tap at Boston Pizza, what are the names of those beers? You can get a bonus prize or get an additional prize. I can't believe no one got that answer right, Brad, last week.
I don't know. Admittedly, I probably wouldn't have. I wouldn't have got them all.
We did struggle. We got 7 out of 8. Justin and I got 7 out of 8 last week. But simple. Maybe come to Boston Pizza and look at the beers on tap. There's a hint. Come in, enjoy a $9 schooner or $4 bar rail, and look at the beers. Write the number in your phone. Reach out to me or Scott Nason. You get a free prize. What's better than free food, Dan?
There's very few things that are better than free food. Free beer.
Oh, that's free beer. That's got to be a thing.
Probably
Free Leaf
the only-
tickets, Justin, maybe one?
My hairline.
Yo, you got a Phil Kessel hairline. That's just, I love you.
No, I really enjoy that association. Funny story, I was at a stag and do like in the spring last year, and some kid came up to me and said, "There's no way that you're here because you're on TV right now." And I couldn't figure it out, and there was a Penguins game on. I was like, man, this is the best moment of my life.
I can't unsee it now.
Yeah. That hairline, though, oh my God. He must be the biggest beauty in the league. He must be. Must be one of the biggest beauties. But, Brad, NHL talks for after. We're going to jump into the Greyhounds right now. And those hounds are howling. They're barking. They're roaring.
Dogs
bark. The dogs bark. The Hounds. Game 1.
Wow.
8-1 victory over Windsor. Expecting, they're playing the 8th seed. A team that they are expected to, let's just say, defeat. Sure. Let's say it that way. The Hounds are only losing 7 games all season. It has to take them a team to beat them 4 times in the playoffs. I just don't know how that's going to be a thing. But Brad, give us an update on last night's game and a little bit of analysis on the Greyhounds playoff side and upcoming games for the Hounds.
Yeah, it was literally a man amongst boys yesterday. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like, they were, there were points in that game where it looked like they were playing keep away with Saginaw. They're that good. It's that exciting. To watch this team, I mean, you look at, they get so much scoring from so many different guys. Like Jack Back had 2 last night. Other nights it's Morgan Frost. Other nights it's Taylor Radish. Then it's Boris Kachuk. And then it's Hayden Verbeek. And then it's Tim Gettinger. And then Barrett Hayton. And then Keegan Howdishell comes up with a big goal every now and then. So it's a team that spreads everything around really well. They were, everyone talked about how good they were defensively last night. And part of the reason they were so good defensively is because they just had the puck. And that's just how good they are. It's going to be exciting. I mean, they got a big weekend coming up where, they play, the Flint game on Friday, you're playing a team that's out of the playoffs, but, a team that's playing for pride. But then you've got a game against London where, it's going to be a team that's going to be looking to go into the playoffs on a roll. And, the Greyhounds have said that they're probably not going to sit very many guys this weekend. They're going to, they're going to maybe buck the trend a little bit, and they're going to dress everybody. It's basically Drew Bannister said last night, it's up to the players. If a player wants to sit and wants a break, they're going to be able to get it. But let's face it, what player is going to actively say, you know what, coach, I don't want to be in the lineup tonight? I doubt there's going to be very many, if any at all. So it's going to be nice. I mean, they're going to be a team that's going to look to continue to roll. They're going to split the goaltending duties this week. Matt Peralta is going to start against Flint. Tyler Johnson will start against his former team against London, and he had a good start down in London there a few weeks ago. So it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Their home playoff dates are set by the sounds of it now. It's going to be Friday, Sunday next week. There's talk that Sportsnet might be in to do those games. That's a little bit of that's kind of the rumor mill. I don't think any of that's confirmed yet, but it makes sense because those were, when that rumor popped up, those were the 2 days that were talked about as the dates that the games are going to be. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, people are really excited to see if this team's for real. And you know what? Like, I look at them and I have a hard time. There are maybe 2 teams that I could see in this league giving the Greyhounds a run in a 7-game series.
It's in their division.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And one of them's in their division, the Sarnia Sting, and then the Kitchener Rangers. I mean, those are probably the only 2 teams that I can see giving the Greyhounds a run, and those series will come down to goaltending. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. There are still 2 games left in the regular season, and let's face it, there are a lot of games to be played between now and the end of May when the Memorial Cup is racing. So it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. That's the playoff update. Then with Windsor kind of being on the outside, looking into the playoffs, so they're in.
They're in. I mean, it's pretty much everybody's playing for positioning now.
Yeah.
You're looking at Windsor, Guelph, and Saginaw battling for positioning in 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So right now you're looking. Guelph is sitting at 67. They're 1 point up on Windsor and Saginaw. So I mean that could potentially change 3 times this weekend. Yeah. All 3 teams have 2 games left, so it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be. I'm curious to see it. For the London Knights, you'll have 2. The London Knights are coming into Sunday, and they're a team that could potentially be battling for position with Owen Sound right now. They're 2 points back. They have more wins, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Absolutely. Then Windsor being 7th, and that's what I meant on the outside. More the bottom is what I meant by that. And Guelph, Windsor, and Saginaw. Looks like right now the playoffs started. The Hounds will be playing Saginaw in the first round, which is actually kind of they had a little bit of trouble this year against Saginaw. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to be playing Windsor. I think with Saginaw there, I think Saginaw's more of a 6th or 7th, 6th seed. I think with their team, but Windsor, if they got a first round playoff preview Wednesday, it looks like that the Hounds might have a little bit of an easier time with Windsor, but I think, like you said, there's only Sarnia and Kitchener in the conference that might give them a little bit of trouble. Then you got Hamilton on the other side. I can't see a team defeating these guys in 7 games. And Dane, I'm going to go over to you. 7 losses in the regular season so far. Still 2 games left. And you know what? They may sit some guys or they may rest. Looks like they might play guys. It's on the fence. Obviously, I'm a fan of when teams actually sit guys in the last game. Get the 4th line, healthy scratch guys some time, give them some lineup in that last game, then have some fun, rest the guys like Radish, don't risk injury. So I want to get your kind of comment on what your take is on resting guys, and how can somebody beat these guys in a 7-game series? There is no way, in my opinion.
Well, you don't want to rest your guys too much for people to get rusty. It is that, coming down to the end of the season right now, even if you have a little bit of a break, it's pretty hard to get rusty, but yeah, you just look at the depth, from the forwards to the defense to the goaltending to, even the coaching. It's just, they're the best. They're the best in the OHL. And, yeah, like Sarnia and Kitchener, I think, are the 2 teams that I think, probably have the best chance of beating the Greyhounds. But do I think they will beat the Greyhounds? No. I have a hard time seeing any team win 4 games in a 7-game series against this Greyhound team. From day 1 to the end of the season, they've been dominant. Only 7 regulation losses. That speaks for itself. So moving forward, I see them breezing probably through the first 2 kind of rounds there, and once maybe they'll have to play Sarnia or Kitchener in the later rounds. It might be a little bit of a closer matchup, but yeah, like I said, I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks on the show. I think they're Memorial Cup bound. I think, we've had some really good teams over the last couple of years that have been close. Haven't got it done, but I truly do believe this is the team that's going to, get the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds back to the Memorial Cup.
Hey, just get your perspective on resting guys. Who's going to beat these guys in a 7-game series? I don't mean to get too ahead of myself, because anything happens in the playoff matchup. Okay, we've seen that. Look at the Washington Capitals in the NHL. It's a little bit far in between the 2, but a team that's successful in the regular season and being a powerhouse, never know what can happen. It's the right place at the right time. Teams can get hot. But what are your take on those 2 points?
I mean, I think the OHL has a fairly generous schedule to the point where you don't really need to rest guys, going into the playoffs like you would, in the NHL or even like I feel like the AHL is probably the more grueling of any of the leagues, where as far as your rest and rebound time goes, because those guys, I think, for most teams are on buses or
traveling long places, right?
So as far as the rest goes, I don't really think they need to rest guys. I do. To Brad's comment about getting some of the fourth line guys in and getting them going, I think that's good. But if the guys don't want to rest, let them go. Just let them play. The worst thing that could happen is lose that little like that chemistry they got going right now. But as far as the competition level goes for the Hounds in the rest of the league, I think their biggest test is going to be outside the OHL. I honestly do. Now, I'm not trying to overlook the OHL playoffs by any means whatsoever. We got to get it done there first. But I really do think the biggest challenge for this team is going to be outside the O. Get through. If they end up facing Sarnia or they end up seeing a Kitchener, that'll be a test. But no, definitely get through the OHL and let's see what you got.
We've got some nuts fans in the background here coming to state their thing. That's how it is in Boston Pizza. They see us here, they love us, they like that. They got you laughing almost there, right? That's good. And Aaron's also enjoying it in the background there as well. But good points, Justin, Dane, for sure. Brad, I'll go to you to kind of conclude. Wow, I sound like in a little bit of an accent there. But with the Hounds, what do you expect to close out the season in general? And how excited are you for playoff hockey in Sault Ste. Marie? It's one of the most highly anticipated since it's been in, that 2014, 2015 year, right? But definitely probably everyone in town, which we've compared Sault Ste. Marie to be like a Montreal, Toronto market in terms of how we shoot down players, how negative we are in terms of we're unsuccessful. But when we're more successful, we're like, oh my God, we're the best.
Great.
Oh, this team's great. And we don't go to the games when they're struggling or rebuilding. But this team hasn't been in rebuilding form for a bit now. It's been successful for a handful of years. And been young, and everything's just excitement. Playoffs around the corner. Let's get your final thoughts on this topic.
Well, it's funny you say that about the fans in this city. I always use the phrase Greyhound fans, and this is no disrespect to them because they're obviously very knowledgeable people. Most.
Yeah, and Soo were very knowledgeable.
Yeah. But Greyhound fans are with the Greyhounds, win or tie, just don't tie very often.
Oh. I like that.
They're tough, but I mean, like you said, they're knowledgeable, and you know what? This is an exciting team. I mean, aside from that 14-15 team, this might be the most excitement there's been around this team in a while, and they've been consistently good over the last 6 years. They've been solid. They've been. When Kyle Dubas came in, the idea was they wanted a team that was consistently good with the opportunity to be great, and so far they've had that. Where you had the first 2 years ahead of 14-15, you had 2 years of. There were decent seasons. You had that 14-15 team where you added.
Yes.
And if not for Connor McDavid, you probably go to the Memorial Cup. That's for me, that's a pretty safe bet that year. I feel like that team was good enough to beat Oshawa in the OHL final. Then you had a quote unquote down year in 15-16 team that still fit. It was a 7 seed, but very good 7 seed and upset Sarnia in the first round on the road in 7 games.
Yes,
so that was a good club. Then last year you had a solid club. Didn't add, kind of kept things status quo.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're back in a position this year where you've got that opportunity, and they added the right players with Jordan Sandbrook and Taylor Radish. They didn't need to add any more than that. Those are the perfect moves for that team. You know what? Fans in this city have a right to be excited. I mean, this is the closest, aside from the 14-15 team, this is the closest this team's been to a Memorial Cup contender in a lot of years. Yeah, this is and it's kind of fitting. I mean, this would be, let's say this team does go on and win a Memorial Cup. It's a 25th anniversary of the 93 team as well. So, that's almost fitting. Let's say that it does happen. That would be a fitting way to end the season for this group. But I mean, you know what? As far as the playoff run, it's never going to be easy. I mean, let's face it. At any level of hockey, the playoffs are a totally different animal. I know it's a cliche to say it, but it's fact. Especially the OHL playoffs, it's very different. This team's probably going to be winning a lot of lower scoring games than what we're used to seeing, but they're good enough to get that job done.
Absolutely. You know what? Like you said, you put it perfectly there. The reason to be excited is definitely forefronted and definitely for sure with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Fellas, we're going to sip on these Molson products a bit more, enjoy these daily specials here at Boston Pizza. And to remind everyone, the trivia question The bonus question being, what are the 8 beers on tap? What are the taps from last week? Come into Boston Pizza and look. You might get a bonus there on behalf of Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. Also, the question this week. Which one of these 3 people between Paul Maurice, Joe Bowen, and Colin Miller were on the Game Sports Show first? And you can get a prize courtesy of Boston Pizza. And a reminder, 8 p.m. on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, Sheldon Jaskalinen, the only fiddle player in town, will be here at Boston Pizza. Green beer, drink features staying the same after 9 p.m. with those schooners, bar rails, and half-price off appetizers. This is Dave McKay here alongside Brad Cochimilio, Dane Hancho, and Justin Heichel, the usual and the main panel of the Thursday Game Sports Show Boston Pizza edition here. And we're going to take a quick break. Like I said, sip on these products and have a couple little pieces of pizza, courtesy of Justin Heichel's idea. Great mix here. Justin, I got to give you a little kudos for getting these mixes there. And when we come back, we're going to be discussing a little bit of NHL updates, so don't go anywhere.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsoo.as.me-. The Salon, making the Soo beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
And welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McKay, alongside the crew, the fellas, the panel, the best of the best. To my right, Brad Cochimilio, newly member to the Game Sports Show. How's that entrance? Well, how's that continuous entrance on the show? That's what I mean.
You've been pretty complimentary. It's you know what? It's good. It's always a good feeling to have your ego boosted a little bit.
You got the blushing going on. I like it.
See?
Must be my smile. Dane to my left. Dane, the man of every hour, the legend, the beautiful Dane Hancho, but the poor Oiler fan. Ugh.
Well, thank you for making me blush at the start there. But yes, the Oilers, very used to it. Just another year. You know, they make the playoffs first time in 10 years. Can't ask for more than that. Or, you know, a Game 7 second round exit. You know, I'm happy with that. You know, better than losing, you know, in Game 7 against Carolina in the finals. So, you know.
You follow Danger Cats, eh? On
I've watched you know, a stream or two of the Danger Cat there.
He's a beauty.
Yeah, he is a beauty. I remember last year when we lost against Anaheim there, he mailed in his contract to get signed for the Oilers there so he could punch out Ryan Kessler, which I would love to see. Anybody that plays in the NHL is willing to, you know, fight Ryan Kessler. I'm very down for that because he's not a very nice hockey player.
You know what? And I like his entry on the show. The Drew Doughty.
Oh,
the very many swears that Drew Doughty swears.
We can't say it on the show, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And to my left, Streets. The one who's been here the longest on the Game Sports Show, who handles me 3 times, 2 times, sometimes a lot of times in the week, and how he's still standing with not having gray hairs, but he still has the best hairline next to Phil Kessel. Justin, are you ready for some NHL chat, buddy?
I think we should. We should get
What? Just one sweet word. I had to give everyone a little fun. We got a lot because, believe it or not, we have a lot of time left on the show. Tee it up.
It feels like it, Dave. It feels like it.
It does. But I'm going to jump into the chat because that's what we can do. We're going to talk here on this segment, the NHL update. We're going to go around the league on, power rankings. We're going to discuss a little bit of news between Patrick Laine and Alex Ovechkin. We're going to discuss a little last year's draft that I'm going to bring up in terms of Nico Hischier and Nolan Patrick. And then we're going to have our Leafs chat where Justin and I are going to spearhead. And then we're going to have our famous multiple choice segment. And I mean famous. Like it's world famous. We don't have a multiple choice master yet, though. I got to say that it's got to be next on the implementation list. But Brad, I'm going to go over to you on kind of the first topic because you and I were kind of discussing off the air as Dane and Justin were enjoying some players' light regulars, I believe is what they were smoking outside. Patrick Laine. We're going to jump into Alex Ovechkin. The guy has 600 goals and above 900 games. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. We'll get to him in just a second here. Patrick Laine, is he the next big goal scorer in the National Hockey League? Is that pretty evident right now?
Yeah, I feel like that's a real accurate statement. I mean, he's just been an absolute beast. There's no other way to put it, I don't think. He's just been, and it's been something to watch. I mean, it's it's a credit to him and the work he put in coming into the league. It's let's face it, it's so tough just to be productive at that level and to do the things he's done here early on in his career have been just amazing. And it's I think he's like you said, I think he is the next big thing as far as goal scorers are concerned in the NHL.
Absolutely, and Alex Ovechkin, Dane getting 600 goals. I'll get your comment on Patrick Laine too, but also Alex Ovechkin 600 goals and just above 900 games. That's absolutely unbelievable. There's a guy who's had not much success when it comes to the playoffs, obviously. He's had to go through something called Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins on multiple occasions. And the way this format is in the National Hockey League is really damaging to Washington because they don't really have the best of all chances, because if they make the second round this year, it's pretty obvious who they might be playing again in the second round for the umpteenth time. Ovechkin, though, 600 goals. That's amazing. Patrick Laine, who is absolutely scoring at will at a young age. Amazing to see.
Yeah, let's be honest here. Alexander Ovechkin, I think he's 31 right now. If a couple more really good years, the Wayne Gretzky, 894 goals or whatever it is, I don't see him getting there. But Alexander Ovechkin being the second all-time, leading in goals, I think it's a very good chance it could happen. Yeah, like Patrick Laine and Ovechkin, if you want to look at the two most pure goal scorers in the NHL, both of them came in the league, young, 19, 18 for Laine, I think it was 19 for Ovechkin because of the lockout. But,
that's a year you missed, too.
At least 40 goal scorers in their rookie year. And you know what? Those are hard to come by these days. There's guys that, can put up goals every year, but as far as pure goal scorers go, Patrick Laine and Alexander Ovechkin are above and beyond all. Like, they are 1-2 when it comes to the best goal scorers in the NHL. Their shots, just their one-timers, just the way they can find to get that puck in that small crease just to get it in there. It's highly impressive. It's going to be a really good race down the finish for the Rocket Richard. I think Patrick Laine is only one goal behind Alexander Ovechkin after going on a really good streak, and I think the Winnipeg Jets are probably pretty happy with them getting hot at this time of the season. If there's you had a little bit of a slow start and you want your one of your best players, if not your best player, playing at this level at this time of the year, it's good for the Winnipeg Jets. So yeah, I know it's good to see. Watch Alexander Ovechkin the next couple years, though. I feel like his legacy will be hindered if he doesn't win that cup. But I'm telling you, 280 more goals in the next 8 years. I think he probably has at least 5 prime years left in his life or in his hockey career, where he can get about 40 to 50 goals. I don't think it's that crazy of a thing to see him maybe an unbreakable record as some people maybe thought before. But we'll see what happens.
Just sort of go over to you. Same points. Laine, Ovechkin. Line A going number 2 in the draft to Matthews. I wouldn't change that for the world. Obviously, I think Matthews is the more all-around player that Toronto needed, and centerman that Toronto was desperately looking for. Line A was the perfect fit in Winnipeg. They had Scheifele. Scheifele needed Line A, even though Line A is not even playing with Scheifele right now. He's playing with Stastny and Ehlers, I believe, is his other line mates on the third line. Paul Maurice, so I'd have to ask him third line. That's a pretty dominant third line. Might be as good as Toronto's third line with Kadri, Brown, and Marleau, I believe, is their right third line in Toronto. But going to the point, Line A, Ovechkin. What's your comments on that, Jay?
Well, I mean, they're both generational talents. Those guys, everyone said, they don't come around often. The touch on Ovechkin coming close to Gretzky's record. I mean, Ovechkin's got math on his side. That's, he's 32, 31, 32.
Yeah. Is he?
I mean, it'd be a pretty good send-off in the next couple of years to get up, get that record, maybe play in an Olympics again. Get 32?
Yeah.
He's 32. I mean, he's really not that. He's got Yager just for,
Yeah, he's a lot like Yager.
That's realistically, Ovechkin could have 12 years left in him.
Wow.
Like, I don't want to.
A productive 12 years.
That's the thing. We're not. I'm not saying that to be ludicrous. That's just the type of player he is and the mindset that he has. What's to say that he doesn't shoot for 1,000?
Oh wow!
Really though, just with the way he's playing, the way he scores, as long as he has a supporting cast around him, what's to say that he couldn't do that? I mean, barring no injuries, barring playing every game during the season, no lockouts, all this nonsense. But I mean, I think the record's attainable. It's just when you break it down, I mean, not to go above and beyond and any of that crazy stuff, but I definitely, for Ovechkin, I think it's attainable if he continues to play at this level for the next couple of years. Even if he starts to taper off after 4 years, he's close.
Yes.
I mean, to work Line A into the conversation wants to say we're not having the same conversation in 10 years about a guy like Line A. And the way he's been scoring this year, and maybe that's a little bit of motivation with him and Matthews. That's still the Crosby Ovechkin thing going on with those two. But, who cares? That's good for us. Gives us something to talk about.
It does. It does. You know what? I'll say right now, doing the quick calculations in my head. Anyways, 284 divided by 7 is 40.5. 40 times 7 is 280. 280. If he is 7 years from now, he'll be 39 years old. Patrick Marleau is 38. He scored 23 so far this year. And I think Ovechkin, love Marleau. I think Ovechkin's still a better talent than Marleau was. Marleau's a better all-around leader, in my opinion. No offense, no Ovechkin's the captain, but I still feel Marleau's a better leader in terms of playing both ends of the ice. But Ovechkin's obviously a more purified goal scorer. That's pretty evident. So Ovechkin getting 40 goals, 7 years of the next possible 8 years he's in the league is pretty attainable. I feel he scored over 30 basically in every year, and he's had hasn't hit too many injuries. As he get older, that might be a risk. So let's even say the guy gets 40 in the next 5 years, he'll be at 200, which leaves him at 284 less. And if he gets to 37, he has 3 years left, and he's 84. Divided by 3, he'd only need 28 goals to tie Wayne Gretzky. This is definitely an easy, I think, attainable thing for him to reach. I think he's going to be a top 6 guy in Washington for as long as he wants to be. He's going to be a captain. That place, his office, the top of the circle is going to be him. Absolutely. I think that is attainable. Will we see it happen? I'm going to be the naysayer and say it is attainable, but as he gets older, there's risk of injury and risk of things happening and all that fun stuff. I just think that at the end of the day, it's going to be kind of more come close but no cigar. This is kind of what I'm going to predict in the future. I just can't see Gretzky getting toppled at all. And at the end of the day, I just feel that Alex Ovechkin is not going to be the total amount of points that is going to be attained as Crosby is, or Gretzky is going to be at the end of the day. So, and I'm getting tumbled over here right now as I'm getting kind of chirped in the background, and little laughs with this topic of sorts, but to gather my thoughts with it as I chuckle with it as I put down Ovechkin. I don't mean to put him down. Ovechkin is definitely a generational talent, one of the most purified goal scorers that we've ever seen. And at the end of the day, it's reachable. But I'm going to predict and say close, but no cigar. But I bet you Ovechkin stays in the league until he does tackle that record. Laine, obviously, speaks for himself. He's going to be a very purified, if not the best goal scorer for years to come. Fellas, I'm going to go to the next topic quickly. I just want a quick general thing around the table. Nico Hischier, Nolan Patrick. Would you change? If you're New Jersey, I know New Jersey's having a great year, all right? Nolan Patrick's having a pretty good year in Philadelphia as well. Not as good, obviously. And he's been more injury prone, obviously, as well. Would you change your mind if you were New Jersey? Brad, I'm going to go to you. And before I go to you, I'm going to just throw my quick comment out there and say, I would. I'm sorry, I like big centers. I'm a Canadian fan, and not Canadians. Let me emphasize that. I'm a dire Leaf. I'm a Canadian hockey player fan, so I'm a little bit biased when it comes to that. I just love big centers. I'm a big fan of that. Like Taves, Matthews is a decent size. McDavid's also, I think, 6'2", Dane, around that area, 6'2". And I like the bigger centers, and I like the Canadian talent. That's no offense to the American or the European listeners that we have on the show, but I just think Nolan has more of an upside than Nico. Slightly. Nico's going to be an all-star in this league. But I think Nolan's going to be a little bit better. Just a little bit. Brad, I'm going to go to you about this stuff.
You know what? I mean, I'm admittedly a big Nolan Patrick fan. I always have been, but I feel like I at this point, I don't feel like I would change the top two picks. I think both teams got real solid, real high-end guys. I don't think either team would have made a mistake taking either guy. Like, if New Jersey takes Nolan Patrick, I don't think it would have been a mistake. But I think at this point in their careers, I don't feel like New Jersey made a mistake taking Nico Hischier. I don't think I would make that change at this point.
Definitely not a mistake, for sure. But you wouldn't change it then? It's definitely not a mistake. That's absolutely not. But you wouldn't change it at all?
No, I don't feel. I think I would have felt comfortable regardless, and I think going forward, I would still feel comfortable taking Hischier first overall.
To the guy to my left straight that I've been saying all night, we should make that a hashtag, left straight. Let's call it Dave McKeag's geography knowledge, which is 0?
No comment, Dave. I don't want to put you down on your own show.
It's our show.
Oh, sorry, our show.
Heiko.
Well, I mean, that comment threw me off there.
Appreciate
Talking about Dave's geography skills and directional abilities. Anyone that's listening out there and wants to sponsor Dave with a GPS or even an old-timey compass, he'd take it. Give him some old-timey compass lessons. He'd be okay with that. But to go back to the Nolan Patrick and Nico Hischier, I mean, I think both teams kind of filled their own needs. That's with New Jersey getting someone to help sell tickets. You know, like a flashy guy, whereas Philly needs someone they can kind of develop in the background and then take the mantle from guys like Giroux and guys that are there. Nolan Patrick's that guy.
I think Nolan Patrick, like you pretty much touched to, is I love the big centers, but Nico's definitely a generational talent. Guys, we're going to move on to the next topic quick and go with the stats, updates with the Super 16, as they say on the NHL.com. And what did I give it for a name last week? I think I gave it the Sexy 16. That's what I said. I definitely said Sexy 16. I'm going to keep it that way. And I don't mean it in looks. I just mean that, oh, damn, they're so hot right now. I'm going to go with that. But Nashville Predators, number 1. Last week, number 1, no change there. Tampa Bay Lightning, number 2, no change there. Boston, number 3, no change there. Vegas Golden Knights moving back up to 4th, last week being 6th. 5th, Winnipeg Jets, no change there. They were 4th last week. They ended up dropping 1. Pittsburgh Penguins, number 6. Last week they were 5, dropping 1. Washington Capitals going up 1 at 7 from last week. Toronto Maple Leafs, up 1, being 8th in the power rankings. Minnesota Wild being 9th, dropping 2. San Jose Sharks being 10th, last week being 12th, so going up 2.
Colorado Avalanche. Mitch Wilson might hear this from the background. Being not even rated last week, being 11th. Who would have thought this team would be in the current state that they're in? No, I definitely didn't. No one did at this table. And if you say you will, I would like your reasoning behind how you thought it would be. Philadelphia Flyers, number 12, last week being 11. Los Angeles, 13, last week being 15. 14, Columbus, not even rated last week. Dallas, 15, rated 13th last week. And lastly, the team that eliminated the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games last year. The Anaheim Ducks, number 10, last week 16th. They were 16. Fellas, just quick reactions because we've got a handful of minutes left here before we jump into our multiple choice segment. Just give me your quick reactions on this. To my straight left, Justin. Do you obviously agree with the power rankings? I'm sorry, as I connect the microphone correctly. Do you agree with the power rankings that have been presented this week?
Oh yeah, no, definitely 100%. I mean, I'm happy with the Leafs moving up. That's I've been a bit of a stickler with them, being outside
they gave Colorado
basically hindering the top 10 there. But
Colorado's
back in there at the bottom now. I like that one. I think they're going to be a bit of a force. Going forward. That's the one that stood out to me.
For sure, Dane. Over to you, pal. Do you agree, disagree? And I'm sorry about giving a stab at the Oilers because you only have a couple of weeks left on the show before you go back to red. And I love you. I have a soft spot for the Oilers. I know you have a soft spot in the Leafs and everything too. But do you agree? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with number 16 being the Anaheim Ducks too?
Well, when you got the Zebras on your side all year, I go for I would hope the Ducks are in the top 16 in the power rankings.
Yeah.
As far as the top 5 go, which I think what most people care about is the top 5, I'd switch Vegas with Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg's a better team than Vegas.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah.
And I still have high hopes for Vegas. I foresee a second round exit, maybe a first round exit. I do honestly think that the Winnipeg Jets are built for a longer run going into the postseason. Though Marc-Andre Fleury there, he has a little bit of playoff experience. Hasn't always been the best when he played for Pittsburgh, but it might be able to steal around it too for them. But yeah, as far as the top goes, Boston, Tampa, Nashville, I think those are the top 3 dogs in the NHL right now. And you know what? Put them in whatever order you want to. When it comes on the playoff time, anything can happen. I think the power ratings, your power rankings are they are what they are. You know what I mean? It's somebody's opinion. And at the end of the day, they're all going to have really good seeds in the playoffs, and I'm really looking forward to Boston and Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round.
There we go. I was waiting for it.
Let's bring her back.
No more curse. We got to break that curse. It's like the Raptors got to break the curse against Cleveland this year. But we're still chatting hockey here on these updated power rankings. Brad, quickly your reactions.
Yeah, not really that shocked. I do agree with Dane in the idea that I like Winnipeg a lot. I mean, you guys know I've talked about them a lot in the last couple of weeks. And it's just an organization that's done things right and built itself up right, and they're finally putting themselves in a position to maybe make a little bit of a playoff run here.
Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to say it with Colin Miller's interview, as you heard. I said Las Vegas, Toronto, Miller, please make it happen. Miller growing up a Leaf fan, but we did predict, Justin and I predicted Winnipeg Jets Leafs final. Imagine. Well, the NHL will just be absolutely ludicrous. Justin, we're going to take 2 minutes for the Leafs chat before we jump into multiple choice quickly before we conclude tonight's show. JVR. What can you say about JVR right now, man? That guy is so hot right now. What's his name, Mugatu? Yeah. Wow. Got it. Zoolander, Mugatu. He is so hot right now. I took a quote from Will Ferrell. But I'm going to go to you, Justin. Guy had a hat trick against Dallas. The guy had 2 goals against Buffalo, and he played hot tonight. What's your comments with JVR? What do you got?
Well, it's finally someone's really stepped up and filled the void of Austin Matthews being out of the lineup. The last 2 games, the wins for the Leafs, bringing them up to 10-6-2 without Matthews in the lineup. So JVR stepped up. Hopefully he can keep that rolling in the playoffs. It's a good time to get hot. I'll take it.
And Anderson upper body injury. Guy has been hit so much this year, and I banged the table really excessively right now. He's been ran, he's been bumped in the head, because our defensemen go, ooh, and Roman Polak goes, dah. I pushed somebody on him. But at the end of the day, guys had concussion issues before. Upper body, he went to the bench the other day, he rolled his right shoulder after that Dallas game where his left. My directional skills are a little off, but I believe it was his right shoulder that he was right. I think he went right straight. That's it. We need to rest him. Curtis has to play the next 5 out of the next essentially 12 games, in my opinion. I think for Toronto to be in that realm, I think Curtis McElhinney should play. He's earned the right to play. Rest Anderson, keep him sharp, but definitely sit him. But Anderson's been getting ran. And Matthews, injury report, not much to say. They're resting him. They're taking it easy. They're 5 points behind Boston. Boston 2 games in hand. They're not rushing. It looks like they're probably going to finish third. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch Boston. But you never know. 12 games left. Boston has 14 games left. But I think they'd like home ice advantage. They have success there. So obviously that's why they play Anderson a little bit more. But I feel if they have the rest of Matthews, why the heck not? Especially when JVR is shooting the puck like he is. Comments quick with Anderson and with Matthews.
Well, I think we've kind of hit the point in the year with Anderson where we can give him a little bit of a leash now and let McElhinney play a little more. He's got the experience, the team's got the chemistry. You can give McElhinney some of these games now in case you need him to step in the playoffs. You don't want him to be rusty. You want him to be able to step in. You want him to play in front of him confidently. So I think giving Anderson a bit of a break right now, I think is fine. I think Matthews not being in the lineup right now isn't an issue. Van Riemsdyk scoring like a maniac, and the team's got a winning record with him that. So moving forward, I think we're looking okay.
Absolutely, getting that guy out of the red jersey though at practice. Looks like a Montreal Canadian out there. Thomas Buchanan must get very excited when he sees that. He must miss his turtleneck days in Montreal. But moving on, fellas, moving on from the Leafs chat, a little general Leafs chat for myself and Justin. We're going to go in the multiple choice segment. If the listeners don't know what multiple choice segment is yet, then I don't know how the heck you don't know. It's been around with the show for the past couple of years. It's similar to a certain show's sequence, but a lot different. Multiple choice segment, we give you 3 to 4 questions that are answered. You only can choose one of the 4 or 3 questions, and there is no right or wrong because it is your own opinion. And today, everyone made up their own question today. And we're going to start from the top. Dane Hanchero, the Ukrainian phenom. Nice, I got it. The sophomore slump next year after this year. Number 1, Brock Besser, who's out for 4 to 6 for the rest of this year. Number 2, Nico Hischier. Number 3, Matt Barzal. Or 4, none. I'll start. Quick and easy. 4, none. None of these guys are going to have off years. Dan, I'll go to you. What's your question? Next year, they're not going to have off years.
I'm going to go with Brock Besser, and based on the fact that I feel like, he's slowly becoming the face of the franchise at a very young age. I don't think he has the same supporting cast that Nico Hischier or Barzal have. And you really kind of think he's done a lot of it on his own this year. Barzal has had, my boy Ebbs to play with for most of the year.
Love Barzal, though. Love him.
Just a
I'm a fan.
high-grade offense that they have on the island there. Just too bad they can't keep it out of the net. And, Nico Hischier is playing with my other boy, Taylor Hall there. So, I think my 2 ex-Edmonton guys are going to keep those guys.
Poor guy.
Keep those guys steady going into their second year. But I honestly foresee all of them having pretty good second years. But if I had to pick one of the 3, I know 4 is none is an option. I'm going to go with Brock Besser. Okay, we'll go to Justin now for the next answer.
There we go. Nice handoff. I'm following Dane and saying Besser. Coming back from a back injury, the team's going to be a little careful easing him back in. They're not going to throw him back into the fire, and like Dane said, they're trying to make the kid the face of the franchise. How often did you see Matthews dealing with the media last year? How often did you see Marner dealing with the media last year? You kind of got to protect these guys a little bit until they develop that thick skin. You have to play in the NHL, to be a media personality in the NHL.
Yep.
So,
going 2 Brock Bessers and 1 none. Brad, balance the scales of justice here, or at least kind of add another scale.
You know what? I'm jumping on with the host. I'm not trying to brown nose, but
absolutely,
I feel
trying to get on the payroll.
The mic can catch that now in the background. We turned down the frequency, so they heard that.
Once we cut some staff, then we'll be good. So, but in all seriousness, though, I have a hard time seeing any of those 3 guys have a slump next year. get the idea of Brock Besser maybe being that guy just because of the way things have gone in Vancouver. But, I mean, I feel like he's too good a talent to have that big of a slump. And, I mean, as far as the other two guys go, I think Matt Barzal, I mean, he's going to be, you know, I mean, any rookie that has 3 5-point games in his first year, I have a hard time seeing them come back and have a slump the following year. And, I mean, Nico Hischier, again, he's playing, you know, big minutes in Jersey
and with Taylor Hall.
And with Taylor Hall. You know, so he's gonna be a real solid player there as well. And I have a hard time seeing any of the three kind of jump in and have sophomore slump.
One question, Dave, before we move on, and I couldn't agree more. And Matt Barzal, when Tavares leaves, spoiler, he's gonna be even more relied. Do you miss Hall or Everly more?
I miss Everly. Everly has always been my boy, going back to the World Junior days. You know,
Russia.
Canada clutch, if you want to put it in the words there.
If it makes you feel any better, I really miss Andrew Raycroft. I'm just kidding. I'm just totally just kidding. I'm just kidding. We traded Luke Richardson away and could have drafted. My God, I should have said the facts before I said that. But we drafted Luke Richardson over Rob Niedermeyer. There it is. That's exactly what it is. So moving on though, Justin, your question, and you get to start off with the answer. Which team is gonna choke in the playoffs? That was a choke reference. So anybody knows I didn't choke on my pizza or Molson product. Which team is going to choke in the playoffs? Washington, Vegas, Pittsburgh, the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions, or San Jose? Justin, Mike is all yours, pal. To my straight left. Straight left.
Enough with the correction. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the logical choice of this one is San Jose. But I want to go off the wall and say Vegas.
Wow.
They've had too good of a year.
Sorry, Colin.
maybe it just goes sideways. So I'm going to say Vegas.
Nice, quick, to the point like that. I'm going to go to Brad next.
Wow, that was pretty hard. That was pretty hard, Dane, I'm not going to lie.
I missed you. That's right.
You know what? For me, I have to say Washington. Until Washington actually proves to me that they can win a second-round playoff series as we enjoy the music here a little bit tonight.
The Boston Pizza music has been off the charts outstanding. Seriously, it's been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, until Washington can show me how they can actually get through a second-round playoff series, that's going to be my pick every time.
Dan, all you, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington, but, look at the team. This is probably the least, hopes of a good playoff run that they've had in a while. They went all in last year with Chad and Kirk and everybody. But watch, this is the year that they'll probably make it past the second round. But yeah, I gotta go with Washington. The 10 years since Ovechkin's been in the league and they haven't got past the second round. So why is it gonna change this year with they have one good defenseman, Carlson, on their team? Can you even name another defenseman on that team? Brooks Orpik, does he still play there?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Orlov, Bowie. Come on, Dave.
Yeah. Orlov's good, but the rest is they're pretty light on the defensive end there.
Okay, I know the eyes are gonna pierce right here, and mine was between Pittsburgh and San Jose. Okay, and I don't even think San Jose's gonna be. They're not even, presumed to go far, so I don't even want to consider them a choke anymore. I know they pick up Kane, they kind of went in, but they're going under the radar. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh, boys. I'm sorry. This is the year that the Pittsburgh Penguins are gonna choke. I'm not saying it's going to be first round, though. I'm not saying it's going to be second round. Everyone predicts this team to be a playoff, like a Stanley Cup champion. They're not winning the Cup this year. I'm saying that. They will not be a three-peat. They're choking in the playoffs, and maybe this is the year Washington gets past them. Ovechkin, there's a little bit of love to you, buddy. There's a little bit of love. Brad, your question. As there was a 2 Washington, and then there was a Vegas and a Pittsburgh on the last question, a little split table. Brad, who is going to be a surprise in the playoffs, speaking of the playoffs, based on who's in today? Let me stress that. March the 15th at 10:40 p.m. Who based on who's in the today? Number 1, Columbus. Number 2, New Jersey. Number 3, Colorado. Number 4, the Dallas Stars.
As much as our host would probably want me to say Colorado here,
they'll be knocked out in the first round.
At least he's a realistic ass fan, which is much appreciated. You know what? I'm jumping on the Columbus bandwagon and
absolutely.
I have just a feeling. I know games in the playoffs aren't won on feelings, but there's something about that team that I like. You know, they're in a wild card spot right now, so obviously they haven't clinched anything yet. But you know, if they get in, they could potentially do some damage.
Speaking of feelings, it's not the best thing to ever catch. I'll go next.
Oh my God.
Columbus, New Jersey, Colorado, Dallas. Hey, those are the answers. Good question, Brad. Very good question. Surprise team. I want to say Columbus, Brad. I really do. But something tells me, and I really dislike it because I really dislike this team a whole bunch, the New Jersey Devils. And I'm not taking a stab at Dane for that one either. I just feel New Jersey's going to be a second-round team this year. I feel that the team is more, they got some good offense. I like their defense structure and Corey Schneider in between the pipes. I'm going New Jersey. Dane, quick to you.
I picked earlier in a couple shows ago that the Columbus Blue Jackets would go to the conference finals, and then I took about 10 seconds to think about that and realized I was in a really aggressive pick. But I think Columbus is going to make some noise this postseason. They have the experience. They've been there the past couple years. Had some really close series with some really good teams. I believe it was 2 years ago, the first cup out of the two that the Penguins have won in the back-to-back years. They went to 7 games against Columbus. They almost pulled it off. So I think if any team's primed up for a good run, I think it is the Blue Jackets.
Nice.
Off to you, Justin.
Look at you, Dane, making the hands off. I like that. Taking my job.
Yeah. Watch yourself. Left. Center,
left straight,
left straight center.
We've had fun with that.
I'm taking the Devils. That's
attaboy. There it is.
New Jersey finally got some offensive hockey to watch after the last 312 years.
Oh, got a good squad.
It's all right.
The Devils are just interesting to watch. So I want to see them go a little further. There's no in-depth knowledge or anything on that one. I just want to see the Devils play offensive hockey, and I like it. So.
Whole point of that series is going to be Corey Schneider. Robbie Lou's old buddy. Last question from Dave McKay. The Kegger, Mr. Electric Avenue. There, I've never said that officially on the show. No one knows who Mr. Electric Avenue is, and don't worry, it's not a big deal. Toughest division in the NHL. 1, Metro. 2, Pacific. 3, Central. Atlantic. So again, Metropolitan, Pacific, Central, or Atlantic Division. And Dane, I'm going to go to you first, pal. Short, sweet, and easy. What do you got?
What I have is the right answer, and it's the Central. And if you don't agree, then you guys should really check yourself.
Check yourself or you wreck yourself?
No, just check yourself.
Okay, check yourself. Brad?
Gotta go with the Central. I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon too. Keep it straight and simple.
I feel like I'm going to save my answer for last now. I wasn't going to go last, but I am now. Justin?
It's going to be the Atlantic.
I'm not really jumping on the bandwagon. It's just the logical answer. You go with the Central. That's where the competition is right now.
It is. But I kind of want to balance the scale of justice. Not the Atlantic. Brutal division. I'm going to go Metropolitan. Between Pittsburgh, Washington, Columbus, New Jersey. I think it's not as maybe competitive as Central as I understand, but I like the Metropolitan. I think that's those because you're the defending Stanley Cup champion there twice. That proves enough for the point for sure. And that's my background reason to it, fellas.
I'm going to get angry about it, dude.
Okay, fellas. That does it for tonight's show. March 15th, live, Boston Pizza. Before I do my traditional sign-off, Justin to my left straight, thanks for coming on by, as always. Next week, we got Sports Center Wednesday. We got here back at Boston Pizza Thursday. But what do we got Saturday? We got model pictures. I'll see you then, pal.
Oh, I'll be there with the mankini.
Dana?
Yeah, I'll be there too. Look good, feel good.
Love it. Brad, I want to see that flow to screen straight back.
I am Italian, so that's a pretty easy setup for me, let's be honest.
Of course. And thank you guys for coming by. Hey, Brad, you too. Thanks for coming on by.
Absolutely. Hey, we always have a good time. That's what matters.
Pizza, beer, sports. Nothing better.
Things in life.
I don't think there honestly is anything
better.
It's
my religion.
Call it the Hanchero religion. Fellas, on behalf of the fellows on the panel, Brad, Dean, and Justin, I want to thank them for coming on by. The great Mitch Wilson, as always, thanks for being the best waiter of all time. You're the best Aaron Grisdak at Boston Pizza. I almost said waitress. He's yelling at me in the background. Aaron Grisdak and Boston Pizza, of course, thank you very much. And of course, Scott Nason, the board operator, the heart, the soul, the best looking, everything. Scott Nason, thanks for everything. For sure, as tonight as being the great board operator. And, I'm going to give a little thanks to myself, but to you, the listeners. The listeners, as always, being fantastic. We couldn't be where we are today with the growth of this show without you, the listeners, as the Game Sports Show popularity has definitely spiked the past few years, and over it's been going great and getting more followers and views. Love it, and love to see it from all corners of the globe. We even had a listener from Africa. I don't know if you knew that, Dave. That's a fun little fact for you.
I didn't, Dave.
Fun fact for you. And want to thank Boston Pizza, as we said, we're here among friends. Also, going to thank Sports Center Bar and Grill. Got to thank the North Shore Sports and Auto, the Salon, the Superior Pro Shop, Discover the Canvas, Northern Critters in Need, and Big Brother, Big Sister, Sault Ste. Marie, the Wicked Sister, and Pingator Cleaners in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And reminder, trivia question this week. Which one of the three individuals, between Paul Maurice, Joe Bowen, and Colin Miller were on first on the show? And last week's question, the 8 taps, name them, send us that answer. You can get a bonus prize as no one got the correct answer last week. Boston Pizza, don't forget, after 9 p.m., their daily specials, $9 schooners, $4 bar rails, half price off apps. For St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th, not only are pictures being taken here at noon, but after 8 p.m., Sheldon Jaskalainen, the only fiddle player in town, will be here, and drinking those green beer, and those drink features are going to be going on the same, so you don't want to miss that. Merchandise launched on behalf of the Game Sports Show. Boston Pizza, Northern Critters, and Big Brother, Big Sister will be launched by March 31st. And like I said, make sure to look on the website, www.thegamesportshow.com. Keep an eye on those model pictures. Oh my God, they're going to be awesome for sure. And get those up around town. Make sure you take a picture of those, promote them, and make sure you follow the sports show. thegamesportshow.podbean.com and YouTube, Scott Nason's YouTube channel. And with the trivia question, send the answers into the Game Sports Show ssm@gmail.com or any generic questions. So don't hesitate to reach out to Brad Cuchamilli on Facebook, who's affiliated with Soo Today, myself on Facebook, who's affiliated with different outlets and with the Game Sports Show, obviously, and Dane and Justin being part of the game as well, Scott Nason, EJ Russell, and Butch Davis. And speaking of EJ, Scott, and myself and Butch, Mondays we are live, Wicked Sisters, 6 to 7, Eagle 95.1, and we are pre-recorded 7 to 8 on the Podbean page. Then Wednesdays, 9 o'clock, Sports Center Bar and Grill. Myself, Justin, occasionally Dane, Dustin, and Jamie are there at Sports Center Bar and Grill for their wing night. Thursdays, myself, Brad, Justin, and Dane, along with many professional athletic guests, especially locally, and that is on 9 p.m. here Thursdays at Boston Pizza. As I take my quick breath to conclude, once again, I'm going to thank the listeners and thank everyone for tuning on in tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. And until next week, like I stated the agenda already, any issues, let me know. But until next week, you all have a good one and have a very safe and happy St. Patrick's Day weekend.